But I could have gone to Real Madrid for a year and a half. They offered me a year and a half, and I was like, Celtic was again.
Was that a month?
Welcome back to The Big D Speaks. Today we are going to be continuing watching and listening to Roy Keane from his appearance on The Overlap recently. And on this particular clip, he's going to be talking about his future in management and also about the time he almost signed for Real Madrid. Wow, can you imagine that? Roy Keane and Raul. Now that is a recipe to destroy La Liga. Anyway, don't take it from me. Let's take it from Roy Keane over to Roy. But before we do that, please, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe for more content like this. Anyway, here's Roy.
I'm going to ask a couple of questions after this, but management, what's that?
Well, that was
you
all.
want to manage again?
Oh, I don't know, right?
I have to ask you that.
You ask me, ask me anything you want. Ask me anything you want. I kind of fell into management. I was doing my coaching courses even when I left Celtic. And Sunderland thing all happened kind of accidentally, but I loved it at Sunderland. What I have now at the moment is, you're on about contract. I've great freedom in my life. I answer to nobody. I answer to nobody. I do what I want. A couple of deals here. And also the few deals I have, would it be with the TV or this. If any of the companies rang me tomorrow, the TV, and said, we're finished with you, I wouldn't lose a wink of sleep. So I'm very comfortable with what I'm doing.
But you wouldn't miss us.
Yeah. I'd still come and say hello, Gary. Yeah.
You know
But the management stuff, right? Sorry, but I fell into that with Sunderland accidentally. I wasn't sure, but I'd only go back in if it was a really good offer and the deal was right. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think
Roy, how can you go back in now? I mean, seriously, when you think about the things that you've got on in terms of, let's say, not forget this, but the Sky, you work for ITV.
The only thing I have inside me is, I think with my stuff, and I know I'm going back a long time, and obviously I worked with Martin for a while with Ireland. I do think I could do a good job. I think maybe it's a bit of ego. I don't know. And maybe that will never leave me. But also, if I didn't go back into management, I'm fine with that. I have a great life. I'm very. I've never been so contented in my life.
Do you know the management?
I've got to be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
You know the management thing. Do you think you wanted to go into that because of how you were mismanaged in the end?
No, not really. No, it was just
thinking you could do it.
Oh, the Sunderland stuff was just an opportunity. But the one thing, I'm quite an impatient person, but I was really impatient as a manager.
Yeah. Which
backfired. I remember going up to Sunderland. Sunderland offered me a 5-year deal. I remember saying to Niall, no, just give me 3. I didn't want that for. When Ipswich, they offered me a 3-year deal. I said, no, I just want 2. Always that ambition to go, I get it done quickly. And what I learned is, listen, we talk about other managers, almost having that little bit of time. And as much as I'm impatient with maybe other people, I'm 100 times worse than myself. So I should have been a bit easier with myself, particularly at Sunderland. You know about managing upwards. Sunderland ownership changed. My contract was coming up. We were in the Premier League. We're doing okay. We're getting a point a game, all that. But at the time, I remember thinking, we need to be doing better. We need to. And I was a bit like that at United. Sometimes we'd win something. I go, we need to be more. And sometimes you need to be realistic and step back and go. If I look at myself as a manager now, back in the day when I was a manager in the Premiership, I was 35, 36 years of age. Like, talk about inexperience.
Young.
So I should have, if I could look back now and go, you were doing fine. You were doing fine.
Yeah.
Why were you getting impatient? Why were you thinking you should be managing or getting Sunderland in the top 6? I got a bit impatient with myself, which is not good. And then I went to Ipswich, kind of couldn't get that going, couldn't get any momentum going. But going back to the question about management, I still have a feeling
that you can do it.
I could do something. And maybe that will never leave me. And that's not a bad thing. But also, I'm very comfortable with what I'm doing.
Right.
So I get the impression with Roy Keane, when it comes to management, is because he was a great player and he always acted upon instinct. And when you're a great player and you act on instinct, you don't necessarily understand how a different personality to you might work or respond to stimuli in terms of motivation and things like that. What made Alex Ferguson great was he tailored his communication towards the individual. I feel as though Roy Keane, as honest as he is, he treats everyone the same. For better or worse, he treats everyone the same. But unfortunately, that does not translate well. And plus, Roy Keane was from the old school. You can imagine he'd have been a really good manager back in the 80s, perhaps, where he could just be a little bit more blunt and honest and rant a little bit more, and that would probably get a little bit more out of the players back then because the players were a little bit tougher. But the kids these days that play football, they're very sensitive, they're superstars from a young age, they're multi-millionaires by the time they're 18, 19, some of them. Even in the lower leagues, perhaps not millionaires, but they've got plenty of money anyway. So they don't really respond well to being cussed out, shouted at and things like that. And I just get the impression that Roy Keane might just be a little bit too impatient. when it comes to dealing with some of these players, and especially as well if he comes across a talented player who he sees himself in, for instance, he's going to expect that player to behave the same way that he did at himself as a player. And no one was right like Roy Keane, not even in the Man United team of '99. They weren't all like Roy Keane. Even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's admitted that he nearly swung for Roy Keane one day, and he's one of the most placid people at United. Well, he comes across that way anyway, but yeah, a lot of the times, great players don't necessarily make great managers. I mean, of all the great managers who are managing right now, who are we talking? Ancelotti, Pep Guardiola, Pochettino? No, he's not a great manager. Ex-Spurs. But Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, Carlo Ancelotti, and these are just three off the top of my head, right? Ancelotti was a good player. Wouldn't necessarily say he was great. Pep Guardiola was a good player. Wasn't great. You know, these guys, you know, they weren't as good as, say, Beckenbauer or Maldini or Roberto Baggio or Roy Keane, for that matter. And Jurgen Klopp, I think he played in the lower leagues. So it's a lot of the times when you get a great manager, it's a manager that didn't quite achieve what he wanted to achieve as a player, and he feels he's got something to prove, perhaps. But Roy Keane, he won everything that he could possibly win. I mean, he was never going to win the World Cup with Ireland. So, and I think it was Sir Bobby Charlton himself, God rest his soul. He tried his hat at management, and he couldn't understand how players couldn't do what he could do, and it was talent. Not everyone could do what Bobby Charlton could do, and not everyone could do what Roy Keane can do. Anyway, back to Roy.
So we got a couple of questions just to finish, right? So what did they say? So this one is, if you could take 3 ex-teammates out on a night out, who would they be?
Ex-teammates?
3. Lee Sharp.
Sharpie.
Would you take Sharpie?
You know,
I love Sharpie. The wonder kid, I call
Sharpie be one. Sharpie's really good to me when I'm to United. Really good to me. I know. I like Sharpie. Yeah, Sharpie be one. A good lad for a night out. Butty. You knew that was coming.
It's funny when you mention Nicky Butt, everybody laughs. So
it does.
You should get him on here.
I love Nicky Butt. I used to love him.
Butty, one of those. Do you know what? I'd have to bring my buddy up, Dennis Irwin.
Dennis Irwin.
Yeah, just to be the calm one.
To get him back to the room.
Right.
Yeah.
Toughest decision you've
Why
ever
not Dwight York?
Leaving United at the time. Yeah, that was probably hard. Talk about decision also. Probably also not regrets. I'm a bit wary. I definitely should have gone abroad. I had opportunities to play abroad. I should have been brave enough to gone over and played in Italy or Germany or Spain, and I had the opportunity.
Which team would you say? Was it Juventus?
Do you know, I always had a soft spot for Juventus, and they offered me a deal, but I remember the deal wasn't kind of, at the time thinking it wasn't amazing. I was looking for an amazing deal, and the club that offered me the most amazing deal ever was Bayern Munich.
Wow. And
then when I left United, if you're on about Selfort, I went up to Celtic, but I could have gone to Real Madrid for a year and a half. They offered me a year and a half, and I was like, Celtic was kind of an emotion. A bit, which is fine. I don't mind making them kind of decisions. And I was 34. I just thought, would I go to Madrid and have an impact?
You turned down Real Madrid.
No.
There's your
headline. Last one, right? Is if you could manage any team now, who would it be?
If I could manage a team now, and obviously it might grab silly headline, but I did enjoy the international setup when I was working with Martin as a coach. I liked the dynamics, the flow of international football. It wasn't like 24 hours a day, but you're still working at a good level. So if you're on about dream jobs, I suppose it's a bit silly saying it, but maybe the Irish job. But obviously I think that ship has sailed as well.
Did you speak to Ireland this year?
Yes.
I thought you were going to get announced as the manager.
So
have you spoke to loads of people? Just because you speak to people doesn't mean to. Again, the hardest part, as we know, is getting the deal done.
But to be fair, to not get the deal for Ireland as a country, to speak to you and then not get the deal.
Yeah, but that's not my responsibility.
No, I get that. But for me, the idea that sometimes I know if I go in to speak with someone to get a deal, you've got to have the armour to get the deal done.
Of course, Gary.
Look pretty stupid.
And that's why lots of people and lots of clubs that I've spoken to over the years are just wasting your time. it's a bit of PR. They're ticking a few boxes. They want to link you with the job, and you meet people. And as soon as you sit down with them, they start talking numbers. You're like, no, really? Yeah, come on. And I don't mean with Ireland, I'm on about club jobs. So yeah, if you're going to sit down with people and have a conversation, then be serious. But a lot of people aren't serious. They're time wasters.
You know, I love it. People don't know how much football you watch, bro.
Do you think I watch a lot?
Yeah, it was good. Even watching with you yesterday, the thing of watching it doesn't say much. I constantly say. It's like when I'm watching a film, I say, "He's behind you, watch out!" I've got that from my mum.
My fan zone.
Yeah, when my mum used to watch films, run, quick, run. But like when I was watching, it's really surprising to see you don't say anything.
No, but I do love because I love watching it. I did start to see
every
I love
level.
watching it. I'm a student of the game.
Yes.
Is that what your classmate?
Studious.
And
Nice.
Aidan wasn't saying too much either, was it, my son?
Nice.
Aidan, yeah.
I know. Remember I said to him last night,
You don't speak about children much, or Teresa. Talk about them for a little while.
bro.
Come on.
Like, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Yeah, I've got
Am I?
listen. I'm very lucky. Yeah, I've got listen. I always felt again the biggest challenge for me, of course, when I stopped playing. That was my biggest worry. So I wanted that decent family environment, and because as much as I love training, but it's really weird. When I stopped playing, I never really
You
missed
don't
it.
train at all, do you?
No, but I was worried
You've got
today
the
about
gym at home, haven't you?
No, I've no motivation to train. Honestly, I took soccer seriously from 8, 9 years of age. So when I finished, that desire to train, and I only liked training because I was a footballer. I was never one for going to the gym. I wouldn't be going to the gym or for going for runs, and physically I wouldn't be up to now anyway. So my biggest worry is when I stopped playing was, the pitfalls ahead.
Yes.
So I've got a decent family around me, and I've got a nice little routine. I've got a nice, comfortable life.
I've been trying to get you to play golf, but you're not going to.
Yeah, I never gone to the golf. Yeah,
You walk miles though.
yeah, but that
The
doesn't keep
dogs
you
don't.
fit. Yeah, that
It
doesn't really
does.
get.
You know, you can bring
No, it
the
doesn't get your
dogs
heart
on the
rate up.
course, There's some course you can bring them on.
Right. I went round to your house a few months ago, and you started doing, was it Pilates or Reformer with Teresa at that time? Are you still doing?
No.
You stopped.
No, I
doing it?
lost him. No, I did. No, I try stuff, but I can get bored of stuff. And I like having. I listen to all of you're doing, and I couldn't do all you're doing. You're on about me loving football, but your schedules where I like just kind of dipping in and dipping out regarding the football stuff.
Nice one. Listen, thank you, Roy Keane.
No worries.
Thank you, Roy.
Roy
Thank
Roy
you.
Keane, everyone. Let me go and hug my friends.
Roy Keane, Mr.
Oh,
Nice Guy.
Who's next? Jill, Righty, Karen. Who's next?
Jamie won't be on time, will he?